All right.
Hey.
And we are live.
Cool.
Good. So, hey, Matt, good to see you in the chat. And yeah, I'm really curious about, Chris and I were just talking about that, about HeroScape hexes for Forest Grave. That might be a really cool thing to try out. It would be difficult to do an entire board. It'd be very expensive to do an entire board because you would need 36 by 36 at minimum.
Even within the Forest Grave book, they said you can do 2 by 2.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And we're playing on 3 by 3.
Right. So you could scale it down. Yeah. That's true. So whatever kind of made sense with the number of tiles. But yeah, there are companies that do custom tiles. I don't know if they're 3D printed or actually injection molded, probably 3D printed. But, there's ice and cliff faces and trees and stuff that just plug right in. So you'd have cool. really nice looking.
If you didn't want to do a whole board, as long as there were enough hex terrain on the surface, you could see what table surface area counted as a single hex.
Right. No, that's true. Yeah, because missing hexes would still be hexes. Yeah. The
you couldn't have a huge space, and then you're like, oh, where
but the spaces between, you could still count. That's cool. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, so that's really intriguing because then there's no rulers, and that would make a much nicer visual, to film and everything. So that's. Because I was kind of disappointed that the Imperialis Aeronautica went to hexes, the dogfight, 40K or 30K game, but I think it's a good move, because they have your altitude is on the base, and then you're not measuring, so there's so much less kind of fussing with the models. So more strategy, less fussing. All right. So, and how's everything going? Good? Good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you've got on Instagram, have you been putting up painted stuff yet?
I'm sure people are sick of all the stuff I've been putting up there. Yeah.
Nice. Excellent.
Yeah. Been going through the Highlands miniatures, the Landsneck, which is kind of like the double-handed sword-wielding knight. I think it's going to be the foot knights for my sludge army. So,
excellent.
I did a test one, and mostly the color scheme I chose was to try out the red and blue contrast paints, which are pretty cool.
Yeah.
They're kind of annoying to... When you put them on the surface of something and there's a gap next to it and there's a different color, then it's a bit you got to be real careful. But, yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, I liked the stuff you showed me. It looked good, so I can't wait.
Now I used to paint 50 more of them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, wait until I get the 3 of each. You're going to have a lot of paint to do.
Yeah.
But that actually works a little bit better when you have them and you can just kind of production line. Yeah. Here's all the red, here's all the blue.
This was kind of the test scheme just to see how it looked and how easy they were to paint. And again, I'm impressed with just the coverage of GW's base paint.
Yeah.
Because that shouldn't have been armor. I'm going to change that to cloth and just a single coat of gray sear, and I'm worked perfectly.
Yeah. What were the bases that you're using? I saw
the Rendera, kind of the very popular for military war games, just the flat 25 millimeter base.
Yeah, nice.
The one thing I was thinking of, and that didn't stop me from ordering $50 worth of bases. I'm going to have 200 bases of various sizes coming, right? Because in Sludge, it's 25 millimeters for the individual ones, and then 25 up to 50 for the heroes, because you can multi-base stuff. So I just got a selection. Right. Oh, you also need gore and panic tokens, which must be 25 millimeter. Right. So I got 100 25 millimeter bases and everything up to 60 even possibly for an artillery piece.
Oh, nice.
But the one thing I was looking at afterwards, you can't really magnetize them because they're so flat and there's no recess.
Yeah, right.
Unless we did what we did with War Master Revolution, which is just lay them on a magnetic sheet
and cut
around it, which could work, but would basically double the thickness of the base, which wouldn't be terrible, and also, but it might not be magnetic-y enough to hold heavier pieces.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That is a consideration with the different bases. I haven't even. I was thinking about doing MDF, but it's going to be that same problem. Is there's no recess then or anything? And I could drill. I guess I could drill into the center and put one of those rare earth magnets in the middle. But
maybe if you put a hole.
Yeah.
You'd have to always put like something over.
On
because
the top.
on the top. But that's a consideration or a possibility.
It might. Yeah, I did that one time. Magnetizing with bases. So I put the magnets on the bases first, and then did sand, and didn't realize there was like ferrous material in the sand. So I got these weird clumps over where the magnets were. Like, what is going on with this sand? This sand is fucked up. But yeah, it's like, it's just magnetic. That's
obviously cool. If you were going for that effect, it's kind of cool. Right?
Yeah, it just confused the hell out of me. Science. But all right, so yeah, let's do this.
Joining us for miniatures talk today.
Yes, right. The early miniatures discussion. All right. So how did that happen? All right, let's do this.
Cool.
Welcome to the Weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Chris.
And this week on the Weekly, Dungeons and Dragons TV show. Right out of the gate, I hit you with that one.
Yeah, I'm just like, oof. All right. Why am I here again?
New Mutant Chronicles, which is surprising. It's been so silent, except for the board game. Right. The RPG's been real silent. Reach of the Roach God, Paizo Data Breach. Ooh. Yeah, so we're going to hit them all. And then Tribe8 Bundle of Holding.
Cool.
So let's start out. So I think this is a serious challenge, like a direct, because you've talked about that with Critical Role, them becoming so big and so not diverse,
Right.
So,
okay.
Yeah, because it's all, voice actors and and it seems like Wizards of the Coast is going to intentionally go after that because they've been doing it with celebrities. They've been doing celebrity actual plays. And this is going to be an actual play television show.
Okay.
On G4 TV in cooperation with G4 TV. So G4 TV, I guess it's still on cable to some extent, but it's also like they're going to do Twitch and whatever streaming their, on their website or whatever. So Invitation to Party.
Okay. Kind of sounds like a Japanese title. Invitation to Party. Where you're like, it's so close, so close.
Let's dungeon.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm going to have to make a supplement called Let's Dungeon now.
But so an actual play series will be weekly with a regular cast of comedians and figures of the tabletop community to play live D&D. So the premiere is November 22nd, so pretty soon. And it'll be on Twitch, YouTube, probably a live stream on their website, and then eventually, I'm not sure about the timing, but on the TV cable channel G4, wherever that still exists. I'm not sure.
Like, interrupting, but wasn't there something last year, pre-pandemic, which was 2 years ago, about some superhero actual play thing with like Freddie Prinze Jr. or something?
Yeah, it was a charity thing, I think.
Was it? Okay.
I think they've been doing that. They've been doing kind of charity, testing the waters, like officially sponsored actual plays, but they've been for charity, I think, for the most part. And then there was that one that had some sort of backing that we talked about, that they kind of had it in a little castle. They like met in and then it was the controversy with the
puppets.
Puppets. That's why.
That's right. I already hated it because of that.
The puppets. I forgot about that. But B. Dave Walters, which I don't recognize, will be the dungeon master. So he's previously written D&D comics and has done several actual plays series as a YouTuber, and also YouTuber and internet personality. So I guess when they say celebrity, it's it's the modern parlance. So it's Kasim Gara. Oh, I'm gonna destroy everybody's name. I apologize. Garaibe is a YouTuber, TV actor, Ifi Nwadwe, and esports commentator, which is a celebrity, Indiana Black, and actor Fiona Nova. And so I'm thinking, just from the names, that sounds like a much more diverse group of people, than Critical Role. And I'm wondering if that's intentional. And I'm wondering how intentional that is.
Well, hopefully.
Because when they also do say, Walters, the DM, says, I think the most interesting thing is the broad spectrum of backgrounds and interests everyone brings to the table and how that manifests not just in their character choices, but how they embrace new ways of playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, cool.
So we will see. Oh, okay. Well, here's a little caution.
Okay.
So this is going to be a very different take on D&D. This is still the DM talking. We all know and love. The show is going to be equal parts TTRPG, LARP, and improv. Actually, reverse that. Improv, TTRPG, and LARP. So I guess putting them in order of priority. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with this.
You know what? Critical Role is popular.
Mm-hmm.
D&D is popular. I'm sure well, I'm not sure, but I get a sense that this will be popular. My responses or my opinions here are always colored by the fact that I primarily consume actual plays to learn or to see how to play a game.
Right, not to be entertained.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sit there and go, holy fuck, this is boring, right? But on the other hand, so entertainment is a consideration, right? But it's not like the primary consideration.
Right.
So whenever I hear celebrity and like kind of improv and comedians, I kind of go, maybe not for me, right?
Yeah, right.
And that's not to say people can't play the game or won't play the game, but I kind of immediately and perhaps unfairly jumped to the conclusion that this will primarily be entertainment rather than a resource for how to GM or play the game.
No, I think that's true. And if the players don't, I think the thing, and I don't know because I don't have enough experience like watching it, but I think the things that people really responded to with Critical Role is how the players cared about their characters, how they performed them, and how they got lost in that world and excited by the peril or the the drama, whatever the relationships that happen. So it was like a fan fiction, being involved in that. So if you're going to be one step removed and it's just going to be about you kind of promoting yours, if you're not into the game, then it's not going to, it's going to come across, kind of fake. And
I forget who the participants were, but I remember Geek and Sundry, they had a show where they hosted by Will Wheaton, so you immediately didn't watch it. But they got a group of people together and played role-playing games. I think I saw them play like Fiasco, and they played a couple other games. And the one I'm thinking of was maybe the Dragon Age RPG. And it was run by one of the designers, I think. I forget who, sorry. But that happened. Like, they kind of had celebrities on.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody wanted to play. Otherwise, it wouldn't have shown up, or at least wanted the paycheck. The characters that came out of the session seemed very at odds with the tone the GM had kind of set. And that was kind of a turn off.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're playing a jokey game. Good, let's go. But if half or a portion of the people are like, okay, we're going to play it this way, and then coming at it a different way, kind of doesn't work. So
that's true. Yeah, the group has to have some kind of cohesion, and then they also have to be into what they're doing.
So hey, session 0, right? Maybe we'll do that during the session. Like, this is the intended tone of the game. Let's all stay on point.
And hopefully, if they want to make a show about it, they actually are going to have kind of rehearsals and improv sessions that they're going to start to get a feel for each other, like how people are going to respond. Because I think the last thing you want to do is turn a live stream or cameras on, and then you find out who you're loud superstar. How the big superstars are, and you're like, oh boy, okay, so we're gonna shift the whole thinking about how this is gonna come across.
Not joining us this week, right?
Right.
Oh man, imagine that. Like, there's that joke about the end of a terrible session, and it was like, so when's the next session? We'll get back to you, and then we just never don't. Like, imagine that happening to like a celebrity on like what? It's streaming now. Why am I not there? Oh, nobody told me. Sorry.
You've been kicked. Yeah. That's funny. So it's coming up in a few days. So we'll see how this goes. I mean, I think already, Critical Role is too established. And there's already people that are talking about, I miss the good old days of Critical Role. So Critical Role is big enough and, matured enough that it's actually like gone past some of its original fans. And wasn't it originally a Geek and Sundry show?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Wow. They should, maybe they have some.
They had him for like a year, I think. And then I'm sure Critical Role went, we're a lot bigger than you guys. We're your moneymaker here. So let's negotiate. No? Okay, bye. Right? So,
they're a little bit bigger than Sundries at this point. Yeah.
I think it'll be popular. And I don't think we can discount the fact that this is like official.
Yes. It's going to get a lot of promotion.
WotC backed. I mean,
it's true.
Yeah,
because Critical Role had to grow out of word of mouth, and seeing fan art and stuff going, what is this? And this is just going to be in your face, going to be Facebook ads and Instagram spamming you with everything.
Oh man, only because I saw an ad for it. Imagine in a couple years if this takes off, like Magic Secret Lair, whatever this is, D&D crossover, where you've got like the characters from. Terrible, right?
It's coming.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
So. speaking of Wizards of the Coast, I'm starting to suspect that they are planting like disinformation agents or something to just sabotage Paizo, because Paizo is like taking the brunt of all the bad news. Like, as much as they're trying to, talk positive things and say, hey, we got this new, VTT system, coming out. We got the Spectrum or whatever, the Nexus. Yeah, the new thing that for 2E and Pathfinder. And they're trying to come up with some positive news. They just keep getting
punched.
Yeah. So the president of Paizo apologizes for a user data breach. So that doesn't bode well for now. They're going to have their own little Nexus thing. So they've been in the news for various reasons recently. And so the phylactery thing that we talked about, and the Nexus that they were talking about, and also the unionization. So they, so they have. That's right. So so basically, the president was talking about the mishandling of data, and so they're replying to message boards containing. Users with. User data when the public replies on message boards containing address information. Ooh. Yeah, so
IPS address.
I guess, they're not talking about physical address. So I guess that's IP addresses. So this was a huge mistake on my part. I'm deeply sorry for any issues that have arisen from these actions, or not treated our customers in the right way, and I apologize. Hold myself to a higher standard. So just a very basic.
Well, at least they actually said I'm sorry.
Yes, and then also concerning the other issue of this is kind of odd. So for trade shows, the rules of who should share rooms, because everybody can't get their own hotel room, so who should share rooms, and there was an old policy that they've now overturned because it was transphobic. Okay. So they talked about So
in other words, basically, you had to shack up with people of the same biological sex.
Right. Yeah. So it was it was an old policy that they were using that doesn't match, kind of current thinking. And as a person in charge of the trade shows, this is Jeff Alvarez talking. I want to apologize to anyone who felt marginalized as a result of the convention decision-making process. It's not our intent to discriminate against anyone. So. They're working on a new policy, one person per room, unless it's a couple, any gender combination are traveling together. Couples may stay together. So,
I wonder if you could apply as a couple.
Yeah, I don't know what...
Because one person per room, I mean, that's kind of
that's
expensive.
Pricey, Yeah, so, I don't know. And, it's not a big company, so I can't believe they're having all these HR problems. It's just...
Well... Employee-wise, they're really not a big company, but I'm sure they have lots of freelancers and stuff like that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, people that would bring to trade shows and stuff. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So a law firm is still investigating the allegations of sexual misconduct and discrimination in the company, which we heard about earlier. So, and the other bad news is Paizo has still not hired an HR manager after the previous one left, and they... are just kind of on hold with that, and we're still figuring out how they're going to deal with the union. Yeah, we haven't gotten official interactions yet. Just kind of acknowledged.
So in other words, the hits just keep on coming.
So it's very suspicious, because these are probably all things that Wizards of the Coast is also doing, or also being but no one is noticing that because Paizo is like taking all the hits. Yeah, I wonder if it's just they've. It's difficult because if you try to differentiate yourself by saying, we're not like Wizards of the Coast, we're responsive and we're caring about this stuff. Okay, so you're good, right? Okay, so let's make sure everything you're doing, lines up with this this stance, because I don't know. That was just a funny dynamic, and it just keeps coming.
Well, hopefully they can catch a break.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll get some good news, or Nexus will work, or something. Something it'll. But I got an email that made me so happy, because it's been... You are now rich, right? yes. There was a prince that had some money, and he needs me to just pay a small fee, and then the money will get out of the country. It's going to be really good for me. So you guys, I may not be here, in a few weeks.
Nobody wants to see me do the cast by myself. I'm serious.
But it was from Modiphius.
Oh, cool.
And I had been waiting. So 2016 was the Kickstarter for the Mutant Chronicles RPG. So it's been a long time. Yeah. And about 2018, they didn't really have very heavy support. There was talk about, oh, things are going to happen. This is coming. This is coming. And there's been some small releases, but not big support because they have, big projects keep coming up. And they got really focused on Siege of the Citadel. Okay. They did some nice implementation or integration. Integration of using the tile sets, statting out a lot of the named characters and things for the RPG, but no big content releases. But we have the Purging of the Crucible, so a new adventure coming from Modifius for Mutant Chronicles. This is a full adventure, a 74-page soft cover color book. And so
everything's in pastel.
Yes. So it's the first Arctic Legion War era. Oh, and cool. It looks good. So a complete adventure that throws characters into the midst of the battle between two factions of the Dark Legion. And they're saying it's for more experienced players. So if you should have already played some of the settings before, it's not like a starting adventure or a quick start or anything.
I kind of wonder what that means, because that could mean at least two major different things. Like, one, we want the players to be familiar with the rules because we do some interesting or weird or out of the box stuff rules wise, or it just means don't bring level 1 characters to this adventure. Right.
Yeah.
I think they mean the latter.
Yeah.
But it could also be the former.
And it also may be GM experience because there's kind of complicated economies in the Mutant Chronicles 2D20 system that you have to pay attention to, and they give you a lot of guidance in there, but I think if that was the first adventure you ran, it may be a little much.
Guidance does not take the place of practice.
Yeah, right. And knowing, kind of what to expect. So they do include 4 pre-generated characters, so they'll have a connection to this event, those characters, and it'll instantly give you somebody that's competent enough to actually run a character that's competent enough to pilot in this. They're going to offer tips and tricks, so in-depth advice to expanding this adventure into your own campaign, and also momentum and dark symmetry spends, so options for both the players and the GMs to use those systems well. So I was excited to see this, and they're going to do a print-on-demand book on DriveThruRPG, and then the PDF is available on Modifius. So I've got links to both of those.
Nice.
In the description, but I was really happy to see that. It's been a while, and I keep trying to.
So they just haven't kind of abandoned it.
Yeah, I'm glad that there's still enthusiasm for it because it's a fun setting, and it is one of their earlier 2D20 systems. So they have refined that system a lot since then, and so it may be like another pass or something at those rules might help. Help the popularity because they even did the conversion to Savage Worlds to help people that don't want to learn 2D20. So,
ask me how I feel about Savage Worlds. Yeah.
So we'll see what's going on, but it's a great way to play in that setting. I don't think there's any problems with that game, but it is a new system you would have to learn. 2D20 is a little trickier. There's a little bit more going on, and people are a little frustrated with what they kind of see as players being able to buy their ways out of failed rolls and things by spending.
Don't give them the points. Then.
Right. So So happy to see that. So take a look in the descriptions for links to that, and so Mutant Chronicle news is always good news. Oh, and speaking of the 4th. For Tribes of Old Earth, kind of Dark Eden story went up for YouTube members. So any YouTube members,
so join.
Yes. So click that join button if you want to hear those stories. The 4th one just went up, and then we're going to get into other parts of Mutant Chronicles. But so the Dark Eden has finished. That whole set of stories is done, and the cool thing is they're all kind of interconnected. Like the events that happen between each of the tribes, you get the dynamics between them, and events are kind of like causing other things to happen in stories.
Domino effect.
Yes. Very good. Very good. So a Kickstarter that I saw that we had talked about a previous one by the same team. So the Southeast Asian tabletop designers responsible for 1,000 Islands, the zine-based kind of...
Which I have a couple of.
Oh, nice. They have launched a new Kickstarter, and this is going to be a full setting that they're going to be producing, a system-neutral setting that draws inspiration from the sprawling cave systems found in Southeast Asia. So 3 adventures introducing the players to the world where they wear the faces of bats, orangutans, lizards, or other creatures. And what they're going to end up doing is confronting the other countless children of Odiok. This is that team, Centaur Games, that is composed of all Southeast Asian designers and writers and artists. And so they're doing now a full fleshed out system that can be system agnostic, system neutral, but can be played as a setting and kind of takes place underground. The book itself, I guess, just like their zines, the book itself is really beautiful. Line art, black and white line art, but really intricate, beautiful line art, and it's going to be published as like a cloth covered book. It's a really nice object.
Similar to
similar
not
to,
exactly, but similar to what's on the table.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so it looks really nice. It was like if they follow the sample they had on the Kickstarter, it's kind of a mustard kind of golden yellow with embossing on it. It looks very beautiful. But you can get both the so it'll be a 200 to 300 page hardcover book and the kind of A5.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice
size.
and small.
Yeah, so nice looking. And for $55 US, for $27 US, you can get the digital copy. And they're planning on having everything finished by October 2022.
Cool.
So this Kickstarter will run through December 8th. And take a look at it, because it's really, they're producing a very nice object. Like the book itself is very beautiful. And so if you're interested at all in kind of a non-Eurocentric setting, a dungeon crawl in not dungeons. Yeah.
And more importantly, a non-Eurocentric setting written by non-European people, right? That's the key, right?
This ain't no Oriental Adventures.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, right. No, exactly.
No, I've backed this, so we should have a hardback copy of
excellent.
The Roach God coming soon.
Very good. Yeah.
October 2020.
Yes.
Not 2020, 2022. My goodness.
Yes. Yeah, so it looks great. And I'm glad to see these guys still working, this group still working and producing, because, it's a great thing to have, and Kickstarter enabling them to fund these sorts of things, because it's not a cheap book, but it's a beautiful book. Like they're able to do much better than just a print on demand soft cover. They can do a nice object that will.
Now, I wonder what the we talked before about like country or region accessibility to Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm kind of glad to see this happen. And this is also one of those things where I think this is what Kickstarter is for, right?
Mm-hmm.
This book probably would not exist in the form they are going for without Kickstarter.
Right.
So, or without some crowd funding platform, not necessarily Kickstarter, but
And probably the previous success of their zine-based Kickstarter, like, kind of establishing themselves as like, look what we can do. And here's a kind of more matured, more complete experience.
I think I have like 4 or 6 of the zines. I definitely have like Merkerger and 1,000 Islands. So I should.
Nice.
We never play anything anymore. So I was about to say we should bust them out and play, but
and so those zines are available on the website. I'll put a link to their website, so you can still. And I think they have a bundle of.
Yes.
There's so many. So
I think that's like 10.
It's not 1,000, but it's close. So there's a huge amount, and you can buy them as a bundle. So you can buy everything that they've produced so far. So if you want, kind of to complement, the Roach God, and have some more gods and settings for.
Cool.
For that, so I'll give you a link to that. And the last thing that I saw was a bundle of holding and a correction. I failed to mention this a couple of weeks back when we were talking about Tribe8. So through December 1st, Bundle of Holding is reviving their August 2016 Tribe8 bundle. So featuring the entire product line in like beautiful new versions of the PDF, so maybe all cleaned up and optimized by DreamPod 9. And Tribe8 from 1998 was DreamPod's third RPG. So, for anybody that doesn't know, chronicle of dream magic, supernatural horrors, and godlike figures in a post-apocalyptic Earth, kind of based in French Canada. Right?
I think that's what I said,
Right. So, this is everything that was produced for that previous system, and we already talked about there's a new version that's being worked on. So the Forged in the Dark rule set is now being used for this same setting. And after we mentioned it a few weeks back, we were contacted, or there's a comment by Will, one of the
nice
people working on the Tribes in the Dark, I guess is what they're calling it. So he gave me a quick clarification. So clarification on Tribes in the Dark. DP9 is publishing, but it's a whole new team writing. So there's definitely going to be faction building and goals, but it looks much more like Blades in the Dark. So once the quick start playtest is out, it will make it a lot clearer. We're trying to get it out the door while people are still talking about it. So so we'll keep talking about it and hopefully get our hands on the quick start to kind of see what they did with it. But I'm curious to I think I have something that there was a free or like a quick start or something, and I really like the old, like the style of the art that the original setting was. So I hope they stick with something very kind of inspiring and immersive in that same way, because it had some very interesting art, some weird post-apocalyptic tribal thing. It was like really it was really done well. So it got across the demonic and horror aspects of all of that. Yeah, so we'll see. And thanks for the comment, Will. We appreciate corrections of all kinds, because sometimes
we're not those kind of people who dig in our heels when we're wrong. No.
Right. When we're speaking inaccurately. So I'll put a link to that bundle of holding. So through December 1st, and that's everything that was produced for that game in a nice PDF
DRM free format too.
Yes,
if you don't want that DriveThruRPG watermark.
Yes, that's good. Yeah, and if you did purchase the original version, everything will be updated. Then from this release will be an update to your Wizard's Cabinet.
Nice. So, how many drawers in a Wizard's
Cabinet? I don't know. It's an infinite amount of drawers, right? It's at any number imaginable. All right, so that's everything that I wanted to.
What is on the table, though?
So the table. So this is from, speaking of Modifius, this is from their Halloween sale. So I could not, and this is what I want to tempt you with this. So I basically bought this because the original Cult, their kind of demonology and their pantheon of demons, if you call it a pantheon, is what Mutant Chronicles used. So the Nephirites and how the demonic structures work, and the apostles of the Great Darkness came from the Cult.
Was not aware of that.
So I really wanted to read that and see what they did with it, and it's really good. It's very good, because they take out the kind of diesel punk, like badass of it, and just make it horrific and cult, very cultish.
But how do you summon dark symmetry if not by a specific arrangement of steam pipes?
Oh, that's
in the ship, right?
That's right. So the Halloween sale for Modifius, this is the Gideon's Bible kind of like in a cheap motel, drawer.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like,
a version of this. So there's no artwork in this. This is all rules. So maybe I'll give you a quick. So it's all rules with nice guild pages.
The guild pages look awesome. I was expecting the pages to be slightly yellowed and kind of a lot thinner,
eventually
like Bible-y.
Yeah, right. Eventually they will be. But it's an artless version of just the rules, so the whole content of the rule book. The nice thing, though, is if you buy this version, they give you the full art PDF.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah. But I couldn't resist. This thing was discount. And I was like, and I have points, too. So I wanted to get this just as the object, because it's so wonderful, and also read kind of what the modern version of this is. But this is a proposal that I have for you. For this is powered by the apocalypse.
I was wondering, because I knew there was a. One of the few things I know about Cult is that it's demonic horror. That's about it. Mm-hmm. And I do know that there was an older version and a newer kind of PBTA adjacent book, and was wondering which one that was, because I was kind of interested in seeing what they did with it. Tossing around that book like that, I feel you should be standing by Kyobashi Station,
yes.
Right? Kind of like yelling.
So my proposal is we want to see what happened to Donna after graduation. We can just extend all of our Monster Hearts campaign into adulthood, and as they run into the cults and dark forces of the real world, we can find out what happens. Yeah, but I thought that using that same system, like, wow, it probably wouldn't be that hard to port those characters into Cult. Yeah.
Actually, it would be very. I would like, you know what? Because of a a yelling I'm having on Twitter. I'll just call it that, a yelling, right? It was one of those things about system matters, right? Mm-hmm. And even though there are lots of similarities between role-playing games as a whole in terms of like using dice and randomizers and all that stuff, just what the system chooses to focus on is going to make each one feel different from the other. Mm-hmm. And a perfect like illustration of that would be what you just suggested. Hey, we had these characters from a game, from the same family of games that uses kind of the same engine.
Right.
How is it going to be different mechanically when we switch it over to a different system? and going from taking Monster Hearts characters. Well, for one thing, there ain't going to be no sex moves in that, right? Going from Monster Hearts characters to putting them into a game of like Cult. I would like to see what happens.
Oh yeah, no, I think that would be very cool, and kind of coming up, like thinking about the idea of they lived in kind of the sheltered world where some of these things were considered just normal, and then they moved to this big city where everyone is hiding the fact that their cult members and the kind of this demon merge is happening, or it could be fun. It could just be, and if we can get John to let us know what were you doing with that original, what was going on at that school?
It was the Neopet scheme, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right. Oh man, but that would be really fun to kind of continue that. Or I'm just trying to find a good way to get into that.
Or since we've played a couple games of Monster Hearts, just pick a person from a game and then just like, okay, let's all just move them to adulthood.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because we do have a good selection.
Games,
we've got a good selection of characters to choose from. That would be pretty fun, and get them in. So I was really interested in seeing Cult and kind of where it is right now. So Modiphius is distributing it, maybe printing it, but it's Helmgast is the original studio that's still doing it, still working on it. So and beautiful art. So it is,
which is not in that book.
Yeah, it is too bad that this is like a smaller. But this is so great for the table. I mean, the text is a little small, but it's really nice to have at the table, and because you're not flipping extra pages, and it's three ribbon bookmarks.
Oh wow, 3! It only looked like the one. Wow, nice.
Yeah,
cool.
and there is our mechanics for sex moves as well. So
color me surprised.
Get out in the adult world too. They bring not just it's not just for teenagers.
Man, I imagine a paper cut on those gilt pages would smart like a bitch.
Oh, yeah, but it sparkle. It will sparkle nicely. Yeah. Cool. Nice. But cool. So where can people find you?
On Twitter, as always. Or Instagram, I suppose. It's the same. Hivemind, HYVEMYND. Follow me on Twitter if you want to get parenting ramblings and D&D bashing. Follow me on Instagram if you want to be overwhelmed by the same miniature again and again and again. Yeah. That's it. Oh, I did break it up with a picture of, I think, the 6-book Dune set that just arrived.
Ooh, nice.
Because, again, it was one of those things like, it's relatively cheap. I think I've only read, like, books up to 3.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I enjoyed Dune. Let's
see how crazy it gets. Yeah.
And the covers of those books are really nice.
Oh, cool.
Excellent. So, how about you?
So, I do a single panel gag cartoon that I draw on a live stream. So, Abuse Cartoons. That happens every Monday night, North American time. So, Tuesday afternoon in Asia. And so abusecartoons.com is the website. And if you want to read the cartoon before you see it actually performed, it's gocomics.com/domestic abuse. And also, I finished my 12th. I mentioned it before, I think, on this stream, and I've plugged it, of course, on the cartoon live stream. The 12th Enmity story.
Nice.
Yeah, so the speculative fiction series that I did, that I'm been releasing on YouTube and a podcast as a text-to-speech kind of audio drama. So I'll do different character voices and do sound effects and music and stuff because no one reads. So if I can get you to listen to the story, maybe it'll actually get through. So this is the 12th one, so I'm kind of seeing this as the first cycle or first complete volume. So I want to do a book of the actual collected stories.
I was just going to say, have you considered ebook?
Yeah. So I will do. So it'll then show up. So I'll do the book and then make it an ebook for Amazon and things. But probably do like a Lulu
nice.
book. Yeah. So self-published kind of print on demand thing. So that is enmitycorp.com. And then if you just search Enmity Stories on any of the podcast platforms or YouTube, you'll see the stories themselves. The video audio versions of those stories.
VODs.
Yeah, you're right. That's right. All right. So if you want to support what we're doing here, upturntable.com is the website for everything. And both on Twitch and YouTube, we do this live stream, and then it shows up on the podcast feed. If you are a Patreon patron, you get this full kind of cleaned up audio from the live stream in the Patreon RSS, as well as other things like the Mutant Chronicles audio fiction, and everything shows up on the Patreon RSS feed, so you can easily access all of that. And so there'll be some things, I think, expect in December, some fun things to happen, just nice. to have something when you're stuck with your relatives. There'll be things to watch and listen to.
What are you doing over there? Quiet, Mom.
Yeah, so that's upturntable.com and then Upturntable on all social media.
Hopefully we got another Game of Frostgrave coming up.
Yes, right. Yeah, so hopefully, by next weekend I'll be cutting some foam boat pieces out, and we'll get some nice terrain for that. Yeah, I've been thinking about some ways to like show the frozen water, like what would work best.
Something kind of blue you could roll across, and I'll do the.
Yeah, because we had that before. We had a frozen thing before, so I've got the plastic sheeting and everything. So we'll figure out if we want to texture it or something. I don't know. It might be fun. But
or just leave it slick, so the models might actually slip.
That's right.
That's where it ends up, right? Curling.
Right. Yeah, we can do a physics-based slipping mechanic.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Anyway.
Nice.
Cool.
All right. So thanks for watching, and we'll do this again next week.
Later, mortals.
Goodbye.
Cool.
All right.
That's a very nice looking book.
Yeah. I was really happy. It was so cheap. The big ones are still pretty pricey.
That's why.
And and I couldn't pass this up when I saw it. So I got this, and also all of the setting books for John Carter of Mars.
Ooh.
Yeah. So they because during the Kickstarter, the full to get everything as a physical book was like $200,
right.
And I was like, I can't commit. I've never played the system. I can't commit to it. Even though I trust, they'll do a good job with 2D20, I couldn't go for it. But they had that Halloween set. Everything was like $7 or something. It was like really cheap. So
physical?
Physical books of all of the eras, the different eras in John Carter. So so I got all the books to support that setting. So now we can really do a fun campaign of that, because the whole all the setting books are on their way.
Wow. Yeah, I really fell off that series.
Yeah, that's right.
John Carter, asshole of Mars. Like, my God, could you be any more?
Well, we can theme it that way if you want to. Well, we can add another attribute.
I should find them up again, because for a while I was doing the thing where I found really cool old painting of the covers, whatever, and I photoshopped and be like I changed Gods of Mars to, oh God, this asshole again, right? And it's like John Carter, asshole of Mars, right? I'm like, because really, he is yeah.
I haven't read any of the Tarzan novels. Has Tarzan come across that same way?
I've not read any Tarzan.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like Jane is,
It's funny. I got to bounce pretty soon. But he's not overly sexist, John Carter. He's just everything is all about him.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And
I remember that.
It's okay, I'm going to weld these two peoples together because that's going to benefit me, right? And it's other people have lives, and it's not just only about you. And I get you're the protagonist, right? But you're just kind of
I think though, Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon had that same kind of thing
Did
too.
It's
a real I'm gonna deal with this, and it was I think it was just the kind of the pulp heroic. Yes, but you're right. No, you do notice that very much.
Conan and stuff like that. And what was the other? I've read a couple. No, because I've even read a couple. Edgar Rice Burroughs stuff, like the Castback series, which is Lost Island, and I've read the Pellucidar series, which is kind of like Hollow Earth thing. And while there is some of that pulp heroics, none of the main characters in that are as assholic and self-centered as John Carter. It's okay, most of the stuff is about you, but no, I kind of take it back. The Pellucidar book 2 ends with them going, oh, we're all modern people, so therefore we should rule this whole country, right? Wow. And they they teach all the primitives and stuff to build guns and all this stuff, and then they just take over everyone. And I'm like,
wow,
that's problematic, right? But anyway.
Wow. Yeah, I wonder, because John Carter doesn't really have anybody to bounce off of. There's not any sort of ensemble or cast.
Bounce off since he's got that jumping ability, right? He can just bounce off fucking everybody.
Yes, but no, there's no crew or cast or anything. It's just him that traveled. It's
everyone else is ancillary.
Yeah, right.
You got Tars Tarkas and Deja Thoris and Mors Todak or whatever. You do have people who are supposedly his friends, and he just treats them as tools, right? What can you do for me, right?
You and your stupid forearms.
Yeah. And I just kind of man, the number of, it's kind of like that Star Wars episode 1 where it's we have a secret city. We're going to escape from the secret city. It's the secret city number 2. It's every Mars book is by the way, there were these hidden people that everyone thought was fictitious. And you're this again? Again? Yeah. It gets tedious.
A series of secret cities and civilizations.
Yeah, I think there's 9 books or something like that, and each one is just like, hey, these people you thought were mythic, they're not. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, I got to bounce. Bye. After that rant. Oops, sorry. Cool. No, I would definitely be down for playing Cult.
Oh yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, and because it's powered by the apocalypse, I think it would fit the group well too. I was really thinking because I was worried. My thought originally, it's like maybe a little too edgelord, a little too dark for dark reasons. But reading through how they're handling the setting, especially with this version, I think it would work. I think it would work really, in a really interesting way. Yeah, we'll take a look at some of the pre-written adventures and stuff to see kind of what they're, because I'm just reading background and rules and stuff now.
So that hidden world stuff, kind of, especially like kind of quasi-religious stuff, is kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Interesting to me. I like that.
Very cool.
I'm gonna bounce.
All right.
So,
Yeah.
see you later.
Yep. See you next week. All right. All right. Well, cool. Oh, hey, everybody. Hey, Miguel and Matt. How's it going? Thanks for hanging out. And K5, thank you for stopping by. That's right. Yeah, the Dark Symmetry was not steam powered. It was thinking machines. Yeah. Anything with a chip in it was corrupted. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, these would make you should just swap out all the Gideon Bibles and the Super 8 motels and teach everybody the cult rule set. Yeah. Oh, nice. Oh, sorry. Let me swing through the chat here. Yeah, G4. I was really surprised to see the partnership with G4. I don't know, because I thought they got absorbed by some tech TV or something, and were just like a small show or a small feature. And then, but they're still saying, I guess maybe somebody bought them or bought the brand, and it kind of relaunched it as something else. But yeah, now they're trying to get into tabletop actual plays. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. And especially if they're going to try to just do the opposite of what Critical Role is doing, or, do the, I don't know, try to make a competitor or an alternative to Critical Role. I don't think that can intentionally work. Just like everybody that tried to make an MMO that could beat World of Warcraft when it was at its peak and stuff. It's like you can't do what they're doing and figure out some way to do it better. It's just that's a losing battle. So I don't know if they're going to be able to differentiate themselves enough. And if they rely on kind of celebrity or star power and have a bunch of celebrity guests and things, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. A lot of people are not a fan of Modifius 2D20, so it's hard to get past that. I think that's why for Mutant Chronicles, I don't know if it was their first, but it was a very early 2D20 system setting. They used for that the setting of Mutant Chronicles, and I think there was a lot of pushback immediately, and especially because it was an earlier, like less refined version, so it's a little clunkier with the spends of the different points and things. So it seems like you can just kind of counter everything a game master is going to do to the characters. And so there's a really intentional kind of wait and build up. So the all the 2D20 systems do that, where they will have a doom pool or some sort of dark symmetry points in Mutant Chronicles, something that the GM has that they acquire during the game. So it builds up so that they have all of this currency to spend on complications and reinforcements for anything, any enemies in battles, and everything. And I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic. It works okay, or I've had it work okay. We did the introduction, the first adventure in the Dark Symmetry, and it didn't get in the way. And it didn't make it too easy for the player characters how the points worked. But it is something that is a little distracting. It does take you out of it a little bit. If you're really into story or really into combat mechanics and strategy, constantly like looking at the table and saying, I've got 4 of these. Wait, if I spend 4 of these, I can get 2 more dice. So it takes you a little bit out of immersion of both combat and story when you're counting coins or counting chips. But yeah. And celebs in D&D and if they're not actual like Patton Oswalt has like talked about kind of going back to D&D in his 30s and stuff. And he's entertaining enough and a big enough geek that I think he would actually dedicate himself to playing. But I don't think a lot of people legitimately care at all about that. So it's just a paycheck or some attention, some promotion. So I don't know what to expect. But yeah, so the cult thing was very exciting, and I'm glad this showed up. I've been curious about that game for a while, and I've read the first edition rules, and I like that connection between everything that was kind of being developed. So there was Mutant originally, which is the post-apocalyptic Earth story, and then Cult, which was the demonic forces in modern times. And then they developed that kind of an in-between setting, which was, kind of more equivalent to what, like Games Workshop was doing with 40K, doing this setting that had, it was, man, like leaving Earth, but then having some catastrophe, some apocalypse that like limited technology. So you had this instant throwback to kind of World War I, like diesel technology was the furthest they could use, and they explained it by evil corrupted anything with a circuit or a chip, and similar to how they did it in 40K, but they don't really talk about that in 40K, the kind of lost technology. Only people that are kind of into that lore pretty deep even kind of, I think, have that idea. I don't think that's well understood about 40K, the lost technology, kind of war with the machines and then loss of technology. And I like that Mutant Chronicles isn't we fought robots. Dune has that, and 40K has that, where it's like mankind fights the robots. And I like that the robot or AI or any of that technology just became too dangerous, and so it was abandoned. Instead of it was this this opponent, this like Frankenstein's monster that got out of control. I like that part of the Mutant Chronicles setting. But yeah. Yeah, definitely fun. Fun size for this book. I think I like when stuff is easy to bring to sessions and stuff. I think that's a nice, but the artwork that they do for the cult rule books and adventures and stuff is really gorgeous. So I definitely will take a look at that in the PDF. But and also because it is about hidden cults and religions and things, I think doing a black Bible, a dark Bible, is a good thing. Yeah, there are a few of those things that a few physical objects that could exist in the game world, kind of like so not necessarily a rule book like this, but that came up with Vaesen, the Nordic horror game that Free League did. The book that the artist produced originally, that was all of the kind of creatures, the folklore creatures that occur in that or live in that world that the players would be investigating. The book that he did could actually be a book that exists in the world. So you could give the players that art book with the description of those characters, and it doesn't have stats or anything for the monsters, so it wouldn't spoil anything mechanically in the game. So there's interesting things like that. Sometimes there's books and maps and things that can exist for the players, for their characters, in the fantasy world, that I think is kind of fun. So the fact that they just did this, it's very prop like. I can imagine this at the table looks a little bit more thematic. Nice. Oh, nice. Yeah, I really want to. That's one of the. Oh yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, they're doing the British Isles for Viacen. Yeah, that's right. I saw that. Is that going to be I think it's a Kickstarter. Yeah, that will be very cool. I still can't get anybody. I keep saying, 19th century Scandinavian X-Files. Don't you want to play that? But I haven't gotten anybody to play. It might be easier to get an online group to do it. But yeah, no, none of the groups in in real life I've gotten to be inspired by it. Oh, very cool. Yeah, I really want to dig. So that was part of the I'm going to start the megacorp kind of profiles. I haven't figured out what to call them yet, but the focus on each of the four main megacorporations that their origins haven't been really discussed in the Complete Mutant Chronicles series yet. So the first one of those is going to be kind of the Christmas present. I'm spoiling it if you're listening on Patreon or listening to the live stream. So, but that's one of the things that's going to start happening by the end of the year. So I want to get the Mutant Chronicles up and running again with some new releases. But yeah, that's great. More Free League. Yeah, so the One Ring is on its way, and I just did the unboxing of the Twilight 2000, which was really fun. I'm glad to see how good that game looks. So I'm curious how they're going to be supporting each of these, because we've got some pretty big properties now. I mean, just Free League has Alien, the One Ring, Twilight 2000. Those are some pretty big popular properties to support. And are they going to be able to do releases, and not kind of get themselves screwed up in quality or anything, be able to do like consistent releases to support that? Because they still have their other original properties that they owned and they created that they want to keep developing for too. So I don't know. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But the company could just be growing, and that's a good thing. And it doesn't need to be, a Pathfinder or a 5e level of support. And I think that's the good thing that seems that Free League understands, is that the release schedule doesn't need to be, so crazy like things that Paizo produces or Wizards of the Coast. They're, every couple of months there's something new to shake up what's going on with the game, or give people, more to play in. But yeah, so we will see how all of that is. I'm curious, because that was the thing we were just talking about, the Dark Ages. So Cthulhu, they did a Dark Ages Call of Cthulhu setting that's British Isles based. So yeah, I'm curious, what they're going to do with the Viacen, changing it to England. So I guess it's going to be probably a lot of Celtic and a lot of more Celtic folklore and creatures. You'll be able to battle evil leprechauns. I don't know. I don't know many Celtic monsters, but we'll see what that looks like when it comes out. But I'm very interested in seeing that. Yeah, and so we'll see. So there'll be another Frostgrave. I think we're aiming for next Saturday. We're gonna try the second part, and maybe I'll do an additional camera. So we'll have two cameras, so both Chris and I can kind of move a camera to kind of focus on what's going on a little bit more, because for the live stream, just the top down, I guess you can kind of see overall strategically, like the bird's eye view is not great for really seeing kind of the closer interactions. And hopefully by then too, I'll have done the Frostgrave live stream too. I want to get through do the flip through of Frostgrave, so you guys have a better idea of the rules. Sorry, that keeps getting pushed behind. Things keep showing up, games keep showing up, because Hero Quest just showed up, the new version, the new Hasbro, or I guess it's technically not Hasbro. It's the I'm blanking. It's a little subgroup in Hasbro that this was kind of their test to they were going to revive Hero Quest, and this was their test to see how that did. And so Hasbro did it in their HasLab crowdfunding kind of system that they do for a lot of the like Star Wars toys and Marvel stuff or whatever they have licenses for. And so I wonder, because only raised like 4 million, I think, for Hero Quest. So I wonder if that's what it would have done on Kickstarter or not, because they would have lost like 10%, to fees and processing if they would have put it on Kickstarter. But I think it may have raised a little bit more. I don't know. It just seemed a little bit low. Oh, nice. Yeah. So they only shipped to North America, so I had to forward them from North America to Japan. So it took a little while, but it seems that it arrived in good shape. So that's good. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. Getting everything painted is brutal. Yeah. Yeah, the Protoss, is it the Protoss Warzone? Yeah, the Warzone Resurrection. Yeah, and there's another one coming out. Oh, so I guess the latest thing that I read on the Facebook page is Res Nova said no winter Kickstarter. It's just not looking. They said they wanted to have prototypes of all of the initial miniatures in hand before they launch the Kickstarter. They don't want to show you renders on the Kickstarter page. They want to have physical painted miniatures for the photos for Kickstarter. They don't have all that yet, so they're going to delay it, which may be a smart move. I think there's going to be some pretty big Kickstarters at the end of the year. It seems like there's a lot of stuff that seems to be happening around December, so they may have had too much. I don't know. That's tabletop RPG, not miniature games. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they end up doing, and they could do it in smaller ways. I think there's a lot of expectation, so they have to kind of temper that and control that. And it seems like they're trying to do that on the Facebook page, but they're going to have to control people's expectation, because everybody wants their favorite corporation now and all the favorite vehicles and stuff they remember from the previous Metal Warzone miniatures game, or even the Protoss Resurrection. They want it now, and that's going to be hard to kind of keep the popularity of the game up enough, make the right choices about what units to introduce and how to start the game, what kind of like starter set or whatever they're going to do to launch it, and keep people excited about it enough for it to grow and everyone's favorite stuff to actually come out eventually. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm worried about that, and so they also clarified as well, because we already talked about Cabinet Games, that new group that was formed to manage Mutant Chronicles and all of those all the IPs that Paradox or whatever that entity was before. So Cabinet is now this other group, and it doesn't affect the relationship with the license. So Res Nova still has a solid relationship and has the license for for Warzone. So they will still be doing their Warzone, just on their timetable. So yeah, I'll keep you posted with anything I keep hearing about that, and let me know in the chat or in comments anything else that you hear developing. And so that'll do it for this week. So I appreciate everybody. Thanks, guys, for hanging out in the chat. It's always fun at the end of the week to kind of talk about everything that's come up, and nice. Talk about everything that's come up, and kind of do a refresh. Sorry, a lot of stuff. I usually try to keep it to 3 topics because Chris and I can kind of go on a bit about stuff, but there was enough happening that I wanted to mention. So links for everything will, of course, be in the description of this live stream. The patrons will get this audio on the RSS feed for the Patreon, and of course, this will be archived on both Twitch and YouTube. So that'll do it for this week. And if you want to hear the Mutant Chronicles Dark Eden stories, patreon.com/upturntable, or the join button on the YouTube channel. So YouTube members have the same access to those stories, and I'll try to get this, the same kind of things uploaded to both Patreon and the membership. And if you have any recommendations for anywhere else you would prefer to support, that you want to use to support us. So some people don't like PayPal. Some people, there's different platforms that people don't want to deal with. So let us know, and we'll set something up to, because we definitely want to share everything we've been working on with as many people as possible. All right. So very cool. Excellent. Yeah, I hope we see some more stuff from Resnova for, I think it's Warzone Eternal. They haven't officially announced that yet, though. I don't think. I think that just came up on a live stream or something. So there has been no official press statement either for Warzone Eternal. That may happen. They may be saving that for the Kickstarter to kind of, build as much excitement as possible for the Kickstarter. So we will see. And I will see you next week. So thank you so much for hanging out in the chat. It's always fun. And yeah, take care, everybody. And we will do this again next week. Goodbye.